Okay. VT? Okay, VT, you also haven't, Vishal, you also have not tried this one, right?
No, I'm not.
So you're coming up with something?
That's what I'm thinking. It's a combination of backtracking plus union find, as you
No,
said.
no, don't think of that way. I mean, first solve
Yeah,
the
yeah, I'm
question.
just,
Yes.
yeah.
You don't even need union find here, but one of the ways it has, I mean, you can also write union find for it. So I thought, okay, I'll use a question which has both and show a way where you can use union find instead of simple DFS.
Yeah.
Like for me also, I mean, when I saw this, like I think day before yesterday, it also took me like a solid 20-30 minutes. So what is the first thing that is coming to your mind? Like, how do you want to solve this?
Shall I say something then?
Yes, go ahead.
So,
But don't
what I
talk
see,
about any algorithm, like how you'd code it up, just your approach, like what's
okay,
coming.
the basic, right? The basic
Yes.
thing that comes to my mind is I look at the text word by word. First of all, for the synonyms, I'll have a mapping, right? I'll have to create a map so that I can look it up. I look at the text, I look at the check to see if that word exists in a map or not. Like I
Hmm.
doesn't exist, am doesn't exist, happy. Happy does exist. So
Hmm.
happy maps to joy, and that becomes one of my answer, right?
Okay.
And
Yes.
today, but was sad yesterday. So today doesn't match, but was sad yesterday doesn't match. Correct?
Hmm.
So now I have an answer. Like one answer is sad. Sad does map, right? So one answer is I am joy today, but was sad yesterday. That is one answer. Then I go. Then another answer is when I go further, I find another change. Like the sad maps to sorrow. So
Hmm.
that becomes my second string. Correct?
Hmm.
So those are the two strings I can come up with.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but now if I want to come up with all the permutation, or sorry,
Hmm.
not permutation, all the combination
Hmm.
of the string, when I look at it, then I
Hmm.
have to take my existing answer and go to the next level and see if I find any other mapping for that. Like the answer that I came up with was I am joy today, but was sad yesterday. And
Hmm.
another answer. So that has a combination, right? Actually, that itself has a permutation. No, actually combination, my bad. It has a combination with sad and sorrow.
Hmm.
So sad can give me two answer and happy will give me one answer. But when I go to the next time to parse that same string, uh, the happy gave me joy and joy gave me cheerful, correct?
Hmm.
And then when I get that as an answer, the cheerful gives me another combination with sad and sorrow, correct?
Hmm.
That's I have a mapping of cheerful and sad and cheerful and sorrow.
So you have a mapping for cheerful. Sorry, say again. Last sentence.
So when I form a sentence, I'm cheerful but was sad yesterday.
Hmm.
So I have a combination of cheerful and sad, and then cheerful and sorrow. So that gives me two answers. I have a combination of joy with sad and sorrow, and I have a combination of happy with sad and sorrow.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. But the question is, how do you create the mapping? Now let's say you had let's say you have happy first, and then you
Hmm.
had a joy. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Wait. Where is this thing, sir? Okay. Here. You had happy and joy, and let's say you had what was it? Cheerful and then joy. So is Sue, are you back?
Yes, Ankur, I'm back.
Since how many minutes have you been Yes.
I haven't been following. I got another call, so I
So yeah,
didn't.
and are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back here. I'm.
Okay, one sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay now so Vishal, he came up with one approach, like a approach in the sense he solved it basic like not coding wise, but he understood what this question is supposed to do. So did you understand?
I think so, Ankur.
So what? Explain.
So, like, we basically have to form these connected sets, like happy, joyous, and cheerful as one set, like just theoretically, and then sad, because happy, joy are connected, and joy, cheerful are connected. So basically, we have to connect happy, joy, and cheerful as one set, sad and sorrow as another set. So given we form these connected components, now we will go through like all the words in the given text, and we will see if any of the words is in the uh, is part of any of these connected components, and if it is, because we have made them into a group, we also have to sort them, because that is, we have to sort lexicographically these connected components, and we'll go about like doing backtracking of like replacing like word by word.
Okay, so you gave some, okay, you gave a solution. Now how are you going to code this up?
Yeah, that's where I'm struggling, Uncle. Like union find with numbers I can do it, but with these strings, how do I know
See, okay, so the first thing is you look at this question. If you see this, if you see the related topics, it says backtracking. It's not a union find question. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when I did, I came up. I mean, you can do this using without union find,
I see.
right? You can use that, but I use it because it is easier to code. I mean, so basically, if you look at the question, right, you figure out, okay, that these there are some words which are related to each other, and they all need to go into one cluster,
Right.
right? So
Right.
immediately thing comes to my the mind is, okay, if I use DFS, it becomes very tricky. Like, what is that? I mean, it's like I'll have to think about how to make them into one cluster,
Right.
right? But if you use, I mean, union find is very like easy to, I know the code, I don't even have to think about how to form one cluster. I just know what to write. Correct. So that's the first thing, and then you do backtracking. Now the real challenge is how are you going to code this up,
Right.
right?
Right.
Now first thing you said is you look into the you get a word, right? And you have to you have to look up the which cluster it is, and once
Right.
you're, so let's say you have one second, let me.
How do I dynamically churn these clusters and create one if none exists, or like add to the cluster?
Basically, you look at this, right? You look at happy, joy, and cheerful. You create it as you're showing connections. So these are nothing but connections. Happy, joy is one connection. Sad and sorrow is one connection.
You mean like a linked list?
No, I'm telling you, no. Linked list in the sense these are nothing but. So imagine this was a number, like 1 and 2 are connect. Like
Yeah. There, my question is, Ankur,
how to use.
how much size? Like I know happy joy only after iterating through all of this. I know, like, because see, we create that parent array, right?
Oh, okay,
Happy.
okay, okay,
What
okay.
is the size I should use? Yeah.
Okay. I'll go into that. Okay, so before that, you also said that, okay, let's just say that happy, joy, and
Ankur,
cheerful. Huh?
I think I can see why union find is needed.
Why? Why?
Sorry, when you do DFS, right?
Hmm.
Let's say you do DFS at each and every level. For the first level you go, you have
Where DFS? Sorry, union find where, for the whole question or for creating clusters only?
I mean, I can see that you need, no, not, what about cluster? What do you mean by cluster?
I mean, cluster in the same component.
Clustering the same component. I mean, let's say you don't even cluster the same component. Then how would you go about doing that? Like you have a synonym and you have a text, right? I mean, I'm not sure whether I will solve all the examples, will pass everything, but what I see is that, let's say if I go down a level, let's say if I iteratively, like brute force way, I go happy and joy, right? I can see that happy is present. So I am happy today, but was sad yesterday forms one answer, correct? At that level. And happy maps to joy. So I can also write I am joy today, but was sad yesterday. So I got two answers. Then I go to next level. Next level is, so these two sentences are there in my result. I go to next level and I see sad and sorrow, correct? And the string that I'm still working is the original string. Let's go with that for now. So I am happy today, but was sad yesterday. And I see that sad has synonym. So that itself becomes my answer. But since it is already present, I cannot do anything about it. So what I'll do is I'll replace sad with sorrow. So that becomes my third sentence. I am happy today, but was sorrow yesterday. When I go to the next level, I don't see joy. I neither see cheerful in the original string, right? But joy and cheerful. So the parent of cheerful, what I see is like the mapping, the joy and cheerful and joy and happy, since they are all synonyms of each other, I need to find a way to put them in the same bucket so that I can use those bucket. Like now I understand why you're saying a bucket or a cluster, right?
Okay.
So when you say that, that's when there is a three possibility of sentences I could form with that.
Okay, right. Yeah. I mean, that is why, you're basically you're putting it in the same cluster, and then you're given a word, you're trying to find out which cluster it belongs to. And then after you go to that cluster, you're trying to find out what are the different possibilities. What are all the words that are falling into that category, right?
Right.
Yeah. So Sue, did you understand this one? So basically, did you understand?
Yep. Yeah.
So basically, let's say this is one cluster, right? Basically, you go through your iterations and you put them into the same cluster. But now let's say this is your word, right? Let's say I'm happy, right? And now you need to generate. Now based on happy, you need to figure out what are the words which are synonymous to happy. Now, right? This can have, let's say, this have 500 words, right?
Right.
Now, given happy, you need to find out what are the other 499 words, correct? Now, when you created this cluster, you need to figure out. First is you have to give this a name, right? You give it 0, you give it Sue, or you give it some. You have to give it some name, right?
Right.
So that once you know which cluster it is, like it has to be a unique name, right? Once you go to that cluster, you have to figure out, okay, what are the words present in this cluster?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So now this is a perfect case. Like, okay, immediately this comes to the mind is that when you're doing union find, when you're using a union find data structure, it's not called union find data structure. It's what do you call it? Disjoint sets. It's called disjoint sets, but union find is an algorithm. This is called,
the data structure is disjoint sets.
Yes. Yeah. So immediately this comes to the mind is, okay, let's use, we have what? We need to find the cluster, right? And we have to find all the words in that cluster.
Yeah.
Right. And this is classic case of, we know that how we do union find or on the algorithm, like what are we doing using disjoint sets, right? So I immediately, okay, I know how to code this up. I'm immediately going to write this up. Okay. Now one more question. Now given a word, I need to find out what dictionary it is present in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Or given a word, find cluster. So basically this one, find out the cluster. Right. Now, if you're using simple DFS, right, it's going to be very difficult to maintain all these things. Like there's no proper, it's like you'll have to spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what your which word a cluster belongs to, and that is not going to be optimized solution. Right, because it's going to give you trees which are not balanced, some solution, but which is not going to be optimized. So we use union find here, which is going to be super union, like super optimized. Okay, now let's just.
It sounds similar to like finding letter combinations of a phone number question, where we are given that clusters like 0.
No, but there you have.
These clusters, like pre-given clusters, here we have to form that. Like there we were able to identify like.
Yes. So basically, yeah. You were given one colon, you were given ABC, right?
Yeah. Now we have to make this ourselves here, and then it's the next part is very similar to that once we come up with this.
Yes, just a second. Okay. Yes. So when I did this question, I didn't come up with union find at all. I did this using using DFS, and then I figured out it's not an optimized. I changed my DFS then to a union find question. Like it was, and then I'm coding up the DFS way by putting everything into cluster was like very difficult. I couldn't even come up in that first attempt, right?
For DFS, I don't know if you guys discussed the DFS already. For DFS, you form this adjacency list kind of.
Yes. Basically, I created a graph, and then I created clusters, and then I had to use one more data set for something else, and then it became very messy because see here, given a word, you have to find out a cluster, and given a cluster given a cluster, you have to find the words. So it's like
Right.
you are creating two different maps that are going on, right? And it's like all you have to do this dynamically think on this part, like what am I coding this up, right? No, so this is a classic case of a union find, right? Now see things now. Okay, now so we have not even gone into backtracking it. How to do this backtracking, right? Now you wanted to figure out how to do now. You were struggling in understanding the height balancing. You didn't attend the height balancing thing, right?
Not the height balancing thing. Height balance, like I don't even go, like I want to first master the first step. How do I make these clusters?
Okay.
What size
Okay.
of clusters? The height comes
No. So basically you use Java, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, okay, here you don't have the words. So let's say you are given synonymous words, right? Wait. You're given synonymous words. Happy, joy, sad, sorrow, joy, cheerful. First thing is just iterate through this. You just use a set. You know how many words there are, right? By using a set, that will be your length.
Oh, like I'll
Go
like
through your
they could
synonyms.
be all disjoint set, but I will create a array of maximum of that length.
Not length. You just iterate through your synonyms, right? How many words did you get? Happy, joy, sad, sorrow, and cheerful. So you have 5 words here.
I see.
You have 5 words, right? So initially to begin with, you'll have 5 disjoint sets, right?
Got it.
Okay. So initially you'll have 5 disjoint sets. So one is happy, you have joy, you have sorrow, you have sad, and you have cheerful, right? Initially these are your 5 disjoint sets. Initially everything is in its own cluster, own set.
Got it.
Right? And the way we code this up is, I mean, if you're coming from like Java, what they usually do is they number it with some number, right?
How?
I mean, I mean, basically now what you have to do, you have to give each cluster some word, right? Like a unique name. That is what you do, right? You either give it 0 or 1 or 2, or you give it some unique name. Right. So here, all you do is you give this name as happy. You give this name as joy, sorrow, sad. So do you know this concept of using parent?
Yeah.
Right. So basically,
initially they will all these 5 words start with themselves being as a parent, and
yes,
then
so,
as we iterate through.
Yes. So parent of happy will be happy.
Yeah.
Similarly, sorrow will be sorrow, joy will be joy, sad will be sad, cheerful will be cheerful.
Right. And
right?
then see happy, joy. Then we make happy as the parent for joy.
No. Wait. So basically, so this wait. Just one second. Let me.
So we'll create.
He left again. I think Tahir joined and left. Yeah, tell me.
So we will create initially, like we'll just like iterate through all the given.
No. So basically, what I did was I went through see, when you're coding up, it doesn't matter if you go to the loop like 1 or 2 times. It's fine, right? Okay. So what I did is first I collected all the words. So I created unique set. Right now I know there are 5 words. So I iterated through the words. And I create disjoint sets.
Got it.
Right? So I created disjoint sets. Now parent of happy is happy, joy is joy, sorry, sorrow, and so on. Right?
Yeah.
And now, as I'm going to synonyms, I go through those and I then join them. I mean, I do a union and I combine them into single clusters.
Right.
That is the most basic thing, that I join them and put them into clusters. Basically, if you do a single DFS also, that is what you're going to do. You're going to put them into single clusters, right? And then the question comes, given a word, first, one of the points is you join them. We are joining them using trees. That is the thing that actually this union find algorithm teaches us, right? We are going to use trees to make them into single clusters. Second thing is, given a word, you need to find out which cluster it is in, right? So another optimization is how quickly can you find out the cluster name, right? And if you don't know how union find works, it's going to be, it will not be an optimized solution. You'll have to figure out how do you keep all the words into the same cluster, and how do you map each word to a single cluster. Like, given a word, how do you know which cluster it is?
Yeah.
It'll be like a very pain to figure out all these things, right? So now what? Okay, you wait once again. So you knew. Okay, now did you get your answer? Like, you know how many words there are, right, in their total, like, looping through. Their first question was. So
yes, Ankur.
So I mean, your question was that, right? What is that?
Yeah, that is clear now. Yeah.
Okay.
On
What's the next? What was the next?
So next question is, how do I? So now, so I'll tell my approach. So initially, I'll create a set containing all these unique words. So the set size will be the array size for the parents that I'm going to create. Like, initially, I'll say happy is the parent of happy, joy is the parent of joy, and then I will iterate through this synonym list, and then I will mark the parents accordingly. I'll not take care of height balancing, but initial approach, I'll do that. And then because I initially formed a set, as I go through this text, I can easily identify if a given word, I can do like split, and if a given word is part of that set.
How do you figure that out? Basically, because given a word, you'll have to figure out what cluster it is in. How do you know that?
No. I'm saying whether there is a cluster for it. That is the
okay. If they are in the same cluster or not.
No. Like, I is there. There are no synonyms for it. There is no cluster for it.
Okay.
So because I created this initial synonym set.
Okay. So basically, it is not there in your parent. I mean, there's no. I mean, so when you created your parent set, it is not there in the parent. So it's like, I don't do anything with that.
Yeah. So that part is fine. And then when I get to, like, I and am will just be like, they are not part of like synonym set which I created. So they will be as it is. And for cheerful, I know that cheerful has parent as joy, joy as parent of happy. So that means those are all my cluster. Those are all the values, right, for cheerful.
Yes, exactly. But basically, you what do I say? Yeah, I mean, basically, given a word, you need to figure out what cluster it is in, and based on the cluster, you have to figure out what are the words in the cluster. I mean, don't think about using trees like cheerful is going to follow joy, joy is going to point to happy. But basically, given cheerful, you need to figure out what cluster it is in, and given the cluster, you need to figure out what the words are there in that.
What are all the words, and they have to be in this lexicographical order also.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, you found. Now, do you know how to do height optimization? So basically, you can solve this question without even doing any height balancing.
We'll height optimization later, but how do we identify cluster? I think, which will help even at least solve the question.
You know, right? I mean, so the way I coded this up was, I created the whole cluster, right? I mean, I created the whole disjoint set, and then I again went through all the words, right? I went through all the words. So happy, joy, and cheerful, they all are going to have the same cluster ID. I mean, not parent ID, but they are going to be in the same cluster, right? Sorry. Yeah, they are all going to be in the same cluster.
How are you doing that?
No. So no. So is this right? Happy, joy, and cheerful, they are going to be in the same cluster.
Yes.
Same cluster means they are all going to have the same root.
Yes,
I mean, the root of the tree is going to be same.
Right.
Yes. So what I do is I go through all the words in my dictionary. I mean, initially at the start, I know all my unique words which are in synonyms. Right. Now I've formed all the clusters. I go through that whole word set again. I find out the root of every word.
Okay.
And I'm creating one more dictionary or set in which my key is my cluster ID. And my values is all the words which belong to the same set, same cluster. I mean, just for easiness.
Cluster ID is just an integer.
You can either use a integer or wait. I mean, it's not an integer, but it's basically a word. It's a happy or a joy or something. I mean. So this happy. Wait. So let's say here this wait. Cheer, joy. Wait. Happy, joy, and cheerful. They are going to be the same set, right?
Yeah.
And initially, I started with parent of each word as his own parent. So eventually, these words, right? They'll have one cluster ID which is going to be happy or joy or cheerful.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So now what I do is I given a word, I can do find root.
Right. Right.
Right? So let's say I get joy. Let's say this is going to give me happy. And similarly for cheerful, this is also going to give me happy. And for happy, this is also going to give me happy, right?
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So now basically what I have to do is given a word happy or cheerful, find out what the cluster ID is, right? That I can do using find root or find method which you have in union find. Basically I keep going up, I find out which is the node which is pointing to itself, that is going to be my root.
You can make that root as the cluster ID.
Yeah, it is all. Yeah, I mean, say again.
So you can make that root as the cluster ID.
It is already the cluster ID. I mean, cluster ID. It is already.
You are making these sets again, right? Like iterating to put them all together.
Yeah, basically you can do that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I find out all, and then, but then how do you figure out? Given the cluster ID, what are the words? How do you know that? So let's say you found out happy.
Yeah. So this is what the next data structure. So initially, so the steps
Okay,
are
so
like each pointing to itself, and then immediate ones pointing, and then we'll iterate through all the synonyms and create a map of string comma list of strings.
Yes. So basically, H, cheerful and joy.
Yeah.
Similarly, you'll have S, and here you'll have sorrow, and you'll also have let's say, what is it? Sad.
Yeah.
So this way I'll have all the clusters. I mean, this is something that I had to do. I mean, for my easy processing and everything. Otherwise, otherwise you can do given a word, you find out its root, and given the root, then you find out what. But it will become very messy, right? Because not every word. So given a parent, you cannot. It's not very easy to find out all the children, right? Because cheerful is going to point to, let's say, joy. Joy is going to point to happy. Happy will point to itself. But if you're given this, it's you won't have any idea like how do I find out joy and cheerful.
Right. Yeah, without forming this new data structure with these clusters, it becomes difficult.
Yeah. So that is what. So I just this is what I did. I just show.
Understood, Ankur.
No, I just show what I did here. So if you see union find here.
Okay.
Right. So initially I created a set. I mean, for being anonymous, I created parent of A. Right. And I have my find, I have my union. And then for each anonymous, I do a union. I mean, I do union. And after I do union for B word in words, I do a find of the word, which gives me the root, and connected component dot this I add the word.
Got it.
Right.
CC of find word will be the root. Find will give the root. So
yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now. So now I'm not. So let's say in your real interview, right? I mean, if you give the most brutest union find solution ever, like, I mean, which is not height balanced, or let's say which is not even like there's no, what do I say? What was that? Path compression. So Vishal, are you following? Is this?
Yes.
Okay. So in this whole thing, right, Shru, let's say we'll go with, I mean, it's very easy to implement path compression. Do you know what path compression is?
Yeah. So instead of like pointing, all will point to the ultimate root. Basically, joy
yes,
will
but
point to happy, cheerful will also point to happy.
Yeah. So basically, you're just optimizing find root.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Here
right.
also, I mean, your if you say your bottleneck, it's your find root, right? So when I showed you this find root, find word, you want to optimize this, right? So basically then you do path comparison, and then you what all you changes, you know the change, right? Where you do that.
Yeah.
So basically it's here, which is like, so this one. So what you're doing is, whenever you do find of a, I don't know how you do it, like either you can do in union or find. I usually do in find. It's very easy to do here, right?
Why do we want to do it? Okay, in find you are updating the parent. Got it.
Yes, because eventually in my union of A of B, I'm actually calling find A and find B, right? So every time you call find B, find A, I'm just changing the route,
Got it.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So because
Hey, hello.
Yeah, Nitya.
Hey,
Nitya, right?
Ankur. Yes, that's right. Hi. So sorry to be joining a little late. I thought it was at 5:30 for some reason. I thought you guys mentioned 5:30. I didn't see the last update. What is this sum again?
This question is synonymous sentences, 1 to
Okay.
58. So basically this, I mean, I just wanted to, I've done union find like lot of times. I've taken the session.
Okay.
Wait, yeah. Now the constant question was, where exactly do we figure out where to use union find, where do we even use disjoint sets?
Right.
So union find is the algorithm, but where we do use disjoint sets. So I took this
This
question,
answer, yeah.
right? Thus, if you see the related topic, this only says backtracking,
Right.
right? So I just wanted to and I wanted to show here that especially Sue, that this question, I mean, where can you use union find here?
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So,
But so tell me one thing, Ankur. Just a question to clarify. Is union find super important for like a FANG company interviews? The reason why I ask is sometimes I do see in LeetCode there are like multiple solutions that they offer, and then union find is one of them. Of course, it's one of the recommended approaches because of the time complexity being better and all. But then is this something that's definitely a must learn? Because I'm not very familiar with union find way of solving. So
it's
just wanted to.
no, see, it's a must learn, because I mean, how do I say this? I mean, it's one of the, so any algorithm book, right? Either you take Sedgwick or you
Right.
take Corman.
Right.
They all have this algorithm, like disjoint sets. I mean, Corman has a
Okay.
section, even algorithms have that book by Sedgwick, it actually starts with union find. I mean,
Okay.
disjoint set.
Okay.
So it's super
Okay.
important because they all start with that. And every algorithm book has this union finds, like disjoint sets. So it's
Oh,
a must, like you need to know that because they all start with that.
okay.
And once
Got
you
it.
figure out how they came up with the most optimized solution, you learn that what they're optimizing. Like, I mean, it's basically it's a process for you to learn what they're optimizing.
Okay. Got it.
Like how
Okay. So
they
are you done with this problem,
no,
Ankur, or
no.
are you just okay?
I mean, basically, so right now, so where were we? So
You're talking about path compression.
oh
So
yes.
the find will be performant.
Yeah. So basically here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I do in union find because that is how I learned and how Sedgwick also showed, and like all they do in find only. It's like one
Who are
place.
these people? Sedgwick, Corman. I have not heard of these names.
I mean, these are books. Corman book. Corman is Introduction to Algorithms, and Princeton has a teacher, has a professor. His name is, I think, some Sedgwick. He wrote a book called Algorithms.
Robert Sedgwick.
Yeah, Robert Sedgwick. Yeah, and his book is totally on Java. And he's like a very good. So Sedgwick has a course on Coursera. Even Corman has a course. I mean, there's a book on Corman on Coursera.
Okay.
Right. So and these are like very good courses. And so I had to like read multiple solutions, figure out what is happening, right? And they all actually implement this in def find. And if you actually do it in find only, it's be like easier for the interviewer also to figure out, okay, he knows what he has read or she has read, and she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you mind sharing this, Ankur? Like I understood, but when I code in Java, I'll just keep this as reference. I think I can make this as my template.
So template wise, right? Also remember that when you're so some guys, right? So this, see what find A is doing is it
Hey,
finds
Ankur, if it's not too much of a strain, can you just go over what you discussed with this problem?
I mean, we are still, what we are doing is, so if you see, did you understand the question? Like,
No, I actually just read the question, but then I didn't go through the solution that you're
so we are
discussing.
not going, so this question actually, we have not even tried to, we are not even solving the question yet.
Okay,
Right?
okay, got it.
We are just trying to figure out how to even start the processing. So we are
Okay.
given some synonyms,
Okay,
right? So it's a list of like words, like 2 words, and these are synonyms of each other: happy, joy, sad, sorrow, joy, cheerful. Synonyms,
okay,
right?
okay,
And then you will be given a text.
okay,
I am happy today, but was sad yesterday, and you need to generate all possible words that can be formed by replacing a single word with its synonym.
okay, got
So
it.
if you see a
Okay.
cheerful, sad. You're seeing my
Yeah. I'm seeing your screen. I'm seeing your
okay.
screen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So cheerful, sorrow, happy, sad, happy, sorrow, joy, sad, joy, sorrow.
Got it. So
Right?
basically, just replace all the synonyms and generate as many
Words you can get.
sentences.
Yeah, sentences
Okay.
you can get. So that's all.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the real challenge is actually solving this, like coding this up.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've actually not solved this question at all. So this
yeah,
is
because this
new.
is 1 to 5 8. So I mean, it was a recent one or something.
Okay.
Even I just coded up 3 days back.
Okay.
Right? And I was so basically just we are trying to understand that okay, you're given synonyms, given a word, let's say you're given happy. How do you figure out what are the synonyms for happy? How do you figure that out given all these words? Right? You need
Right.
so your the question is, let's say this synonyms is as like, let's say the list is of 500 or 1000 words, not words,
Okay.
but what do I say, edges
Mhm.
or synonyms. Like, so how do you create that cluster given a word happy? How do you figure out what are all the synonyms of that word? Right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
here you have happy, joy, cheerful. So happy and cheerful are also synonyms, right? Happy and cheerful are synonyms.
No, I think happy and cheerful are they synonyms? Because I thought
Yes.
all the synonyms are bundled together
No.
in
So
one list. No.
so this question says that if happy, joy are synonyms and joy and cheerful, then happy and cheerful are
Oh,
also synonyms.
okay. It's transitive. Okay, got it.
Yes. So that's what I showed you. See, cheerful.
Yeah.
Sad, right?
Okay.
So given a word
Mm.
happy, how do you figure out what are the synonyms? There
Okay.
might be a case when happy, like happy has so many synonyms, right? Joy, cheerful, some I don't know what else. They're like in English there might be other uses of happy, like synonyms, right? So that dictionary set can be huge. So how quickly
Right.
can you find that out? Right? So
Correct.
this is the case wherein you can do this using a simple DFS thing if someone doesn't know union find, but that is not going to be an optimized solution because figuring out the cluster ID and from the cluster ID finding all the words is going to be like very messy. If you got this question in a interview, you won't be able to even solve it in the first attempt. And the thing we try to do is we want to get this question right in the first attempt itself, given an onsite, like if you're in an onsite or a phone interview,
Right.
or wherein you're not even asked, you're not given an ID to even run your test, run your code, right? So that is why coding of union find is very simple, like very simple. You just have to implement 2 methods, find and union.
Okay.
And just by using these 2 things, you're done. Like you don't even have to then think about anything.
So what exactly do you do in find and union?
So you know the basics of union find?
I think I recollect from a long time back, but to be very honest, I've never solved sums with union find at all. I've always like sort of
find
kept that for the end.
Find a, so I just changed this. So this is actually find. This is actually find cluster ID.
Okay.
And this is connect A and B.
Okay. So find cluster ID is basically to find which cluster a particular word belongs to. Okay.
Yes. And connect is you are putting them into the same cluster.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Right. So now I was explaining find cluster. How do you like optimize it? I mean, what union find or whatever Sedgwick actually there's a concept called path compression.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to explain to her what that is doing. Right.
Okay.
So Sue.
Yes, Ankur.
So you understand this one? So what I mean, if you see some implementation, right, they actually use they use recursive solution in find cluster ID, but that is very, I mean, sometimes messy to write, right? But the most basic thing is from A you finding out the root.
Yeah.
Right. So given the root,
3 lines is what we generally write if I don't. So 19 to 22 are path compression.
Yes, exactly. So given you find the root and then you again start from A. You go back to the up and you're changing the parent of every word as that root.
Got it.
Exactly. right? Then there is like very easy to even to explain to the interviewer that what exactly path compression is doing. So now, right here is what you're actually doing. You are changing the cluster ID of every word to its own cluster.
Hey, Ankur, just trying to understand what find cluster ID is because I've never
Find
actually
group.
done this. So in the beginning, you're just checking if the given value is not the parent of A. So what defines the parent of A?
Parent is actually, we are in Union Find, we actually create trees.
Okay.
Right. So, okay, I'll just show quickly to you. Wait. Wait, where is my? Okay. So here, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
initially, let's say you have these 5 words, right? You can see happy,
Right.
joy, sorrow, sad, cheerful.
Yes. Yes, I can see
Initially, they are going to be in their own clusters,
that. Okay.
and the
Yeah.
name of the clusters are going to be their own names right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Okay.
like the init. Yeah.
Right in it, and the way we are doing that is we are actually creating another data structure called parent.
Okay.
If you see here.
So this is more like a tree parent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So parent. So basically, so parent is nothing but actually the cluster ID.
Cluster ID. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the way we do this is okay. Now, so happy, joy, and they are all going to be the class. The parent of happy is going to be happy. Joy is going to be joy. Sorrow.
Okay.
Right. And now
Okay.
let's say you have this happy and joy, right?
Mhm.
Happy and joy. Now let's say they are in their own clusters.
Okay.
Now the way I'm not giving you the most, or like I'm not teaching Union Find at all, but I'm giving what is eventually going to happen. Now let's say you want to put them into the same cluster.
Okay.
Right. And now the parent of and the way we actually represent this in the tree is happy is pointing to itself, joy is pointing to itself.
Right. Right.
Right. And now let's say we want to connect these.
Correct.
Right. What we and parent of happy is happy, and joy is joy.
Mm.
Right. Now okay, now since you want to put them into the same cluster, what are you going to do? You're either going to change this to happy, or you're going to change this to joy.
Correct.
I mean, you need a way to categorize
The
them,
parent.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, parent of happy is going to change.
Right. So basically, one of them should adopt the parent
Of
to be
another
the
one.
parent for the entire. Yeah. Correct.
Yes. So now, so what here happens is, what you're going to do is you remove this. You point this to this. Wait. You point this to this.
Okay.
What actually this is doing? This is visualization, but what this is actually doing is it changes this to happy.
Got it. Okay. So basically, joy's parent becomes happy, and happy becomes a cluster ID, basically.
Yes. And now imagine, now
Okay.
let's say you had, let's say your cheerful came in, right? And cheerful and joy are you want to connect cheerful and joy, right? And this is pointing to itself, and these are pointed by like parent, right? I mean, this parent is happy. Right?
So, uncle, question before that is what is the logic behind connecting joy to happy as the parent?
Nothing. Right now, don't understand anything. It's just we are just randomly assigning one to the other.
No. So the question I have is, even sorrow and sad, they are together in a separate bucket, right? Like in a separate list. So they also will adopt the same. So there must be some logic to break between the lists. To say, for example, happy and joy, even though they're not in the same cluster. Like, for example,
So
happy and cheer.
If they're already in the same, you break. I mean, you don't do anything. If they're already in the same, you don't do anything. So now let's say you're given happy, joy, right? And let's say another thing came in that joy is a synonym of happy.
Okay.
Then you go and figure out what are the cluster ID of like happy and joy. If they're the same, you just return early. You don't do any manipulation.
Okay.
Right. Now let's say you're given now that you wanted to connect joy and happy. You wanted to put them in the same cluster, right?
Yeah.
Now this is pointed by happy, and so this parent ID is what? Happy.
Happy.
And this is cheerful.
Correct.
Right. So the way of what's the optimal solution for this Union Find is you either, now there are two things. You either change the parent of cheerful, or you change the parent of joy.
Right.
Right. So you can either point joy to cheerful, or you point cheerful to joy. Right. But what we do here is we actually find out what the parent of joy is, which is happy. Right. I mean, wait.
Yeah, happy is the parent of joy, correct?
And cheerful is this, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is we change the parent of cheerful to happy.
Okay.
We make the parent of one cluster as the to be same as the parent of another cluster.
Right. Okay.
Either I mean, instead of changing cheerful to joy, we are changing cheerful's parent to joy's cluster ID.
Got it.
So that is all we are doing. So that is nothing but point, like if you are given 2 trees, let's say you are given root 1 and you have, let's say it's a very huge tree.
Yeah.
And you are given root 2. Right? This is also very huge. And let's say you had to connect one node from here and one node from here. Instead of pointing this one here, what you do is you just find out the root of both of them and point one root to the other. That's all.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So if you see this one, like connect, we are finding the cluster
Root.
of A, B.
Right.
If they are both same, fine. Otherwise, you just change the parent of the root B to root A. There's no logic here.
Okay.
Right? And we are implementing path compression here.
So can you explain path compression part? This connect, I understand.
So path is nothing. So let's say you had to find out this root, right?
Right.
So all you have to do is you have to keep going till the up.
Right.
Right. And what is the property? Any root will point to itself.
Correct. So that's the base case. The base case is every word will have its own name as the parent.
Yeah. So that is what we are doing here. That's all. While A is not equal to parent A, so while happy is not equal to happy, A equal to parent of A, we keep going up. So eventually, A, parent of A will be A. So that is what your root is.
Right. So and this so if I understand right, then 15 and 16 will work for all values which are not, like for example, which are not self-pointing to itself.
Yes. That is the way how you find out the cluster ID.
Correct. Okay. And then 18 is root is equal to A, which is basically the current word.
Yes. I mean, no. This is, I mean, I found out the root of this cluster.
Right. Yeah. So A basically, okay. Got it.
So you A actually changed.
Okay.
Now, so here actually this changed. A is now the cluster ID.
Right. Yeah.
So now I just assign that value to root, a root variable.
Got it.
My root of that tree is root.
Okay.
And if if I want, I can just remove this. I can remove this and I can just return it. And what A is going to be is the cluster ID of A.
Right.
So this is your non-optimized without path compression. If you do this, it's fine.
Okay.
And now I need to do path compression. Path compression is nothing but this one, right? If this is your tree, now if I'm now see here again and again, I have to keep going up, right?
Right.
I keep going up. Let's say for this also, I keep going up, right? Because right now, let's say I go up. Done. Next time also, there might be a case in which you're telling me, okay, connect this and this. Then again, I have to keep going up. What path compression does is, first time when I go up, everyone which is there in the path, I just directly point them here to the root. I change the cluster ID of this to root, this to root, this to root, this to root.
Oh,
so this way, from this way for going from down to up, right? Now it's like O of 1 only. Like I just go up and I got the root.
Oh, okay. So as you're traversing up from the leaf to root itself, you're pointing every single child in that subtree parent to point to the cluster ID.
Yeah, but only after I find out the parent.
Of course, yeah.
After I find out the parent, then I update again. I go down, I go up, and I update. So next time, if someone says find the cluster ID of A, it's going to be very fine. Like this is going to take only one because A is going to point the parent. All it do is it go up, and up means up is going to point to up itself, and then done. So eventually, if you have like lots of connections, right? Eventually, it will become a flat tree.
Okay.
And so in that case, find cluster ID is going to be like a constant. Like if you consider 1 billion elements, like Facebook size, and if you want to find out which cluster ID cluster I am present in, it's going to take maximum 5 connections, like five calls.
Okay.
It will be constant.
Okay.
It has been
Okay.
proved. It has been done something. It will take 5. As long as your cluster, the number of total number of elements is like 1 billion or something, or a finite number, it's going to be constant. If it's going to be infinite, it will not be constant.
Okay.
So that's one of the
Okay.
things. For usual cases, like,
Nice.
so, right?
Yeah.
One sec. Sue, are you Sue, are you still here?
Yes, Ankur.
Now, did you
Right.
understand path compression now?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if you are just a refresher, right? So,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So,
I'm
Nitya,
trying to code this parallelly.
you should not. Okay, fine. Yeah, basically, I was talking to Nitya. So, Nitya, now you understood?
Yes, I understood. Yeah, this is actually very, very nice. I'll probably try it out on my own after
Okay.
the call.
So, what else? Okay, now
So what happens after? Yeah, okay, go on.
No, ask your question.
No. So I think so. Let's say so we find a cluster ID, and in the connection, you obviously you find the root. That I think is pretty much without a logic. You're just pointing one root to another, which is basically what happens after that. Now we have to generate the combinations with those clusters, right? As in with those cluster IDs found for words.
I do a union.
Okay.
So I connect all of them. I put them into the same cluster.
Okay.
Now, eventually, I'll have clusters. I mean, I'll have clusters.
What is union of A comma B again?
This is connect. This is connect.
Oh, this is connect. Okay.
So basically, I'm going through all my synonyms like one by one.
Okay.
This is one first,
Oh,
second.
so you're basically establishing an edge between the words.
Edge and also putting them into the same cluster.
And putting them in the same cluster. Okay.
If they were already in the same cluster, no worries. I just return. Otherwise, I return my cluster. I end. I mean, I put them in the same cluster basically.
Okay.
And now this question says, given a word, now let's say this text I have, I am happy, right? Now given happy, I need to find out, okay, now I need to do something. What are all these synonyms? So given happy, I need to figure out what are the words in that cluster, right? But none of these two questions, these two implementations do that.
Right.
Right. So what I do is I go to my words. For each word, I find out the root.
Okay.
I have a different data structure or a hash map.
Okay.
Anyways,
so I got it. So it will be more like the word will be the key, and the synonym will be the value.
Yes. So now I have my L words. Let's say I do my split, and now I create one more set to figure out, was the word even a synonym? I mean, do I have a synonym for a single word? So that is what I used something for, like this words. Like I just check if that word was there in the set. This is the dictionary set, right? And if it is there in my sets, that means there is a synonym. So find out all the synonyms.
So the set will be the key, is it? What is the set again? All words from the text. Is that the set?
This one, yes. Initially, this is what I did. Yeah.
No. What I'm asking is all the words from the text is in the set, right?
No. This is synonyms. This is synonym.
Oh, okay. So
this was a synonym set. Synonym set.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And initially I added to my set words. Right. So eventually, so now let's say I do the split, and then
So Ankur, can we do one thing? I think I understand it now. Can we go from the beginning so that continuity is there? So let's say you first from the beginning, from line number 5, which is basically you're creating the synonym set.
No, we are not going into the code drill now. My thought was I just have to show you union find.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, I thought you were doing the solution. Okay.
No, we are not coding this up. Now still Sue, did you actually code out the union find only, or did you try to solve the whole question?
No, I just started. Could I need some time to code it? I think.
Code what? Union find only, or the next part also?
Right now I just coded that building that parents and the set. I haven't done even the.
Okay, let's not do that right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it later because you were talking to Nitya.
Okay, now I think you're fine, right?
But conceptually, I understood, Ankur. I might struggle, but I'll spend time and code this up.
Yeah, I mean, 3-4
Hey,
times.
Ankur, just a quick question. Didn't mean to cut you, but is union find there in the interview camp? I'm doing it now.
No, it's not there. It's not there.
Okay, it's not there. Okay.
He says, Harsh says that union find is not actually required. Whatever you can do using union find, you can do using DFS also. which
Right.
is actually true. But
Yeah.
union find is very helpful. I mean, it's helpful. It was when I gave my on-sites and 4 interviews, it was very helpful. But it's like you
So
have to.
even got it. So even for like, so I'm giving a couple of FAANG company interviews in like 2 months. So I'm just wondering. So my preparation is very. I'm just doing IC and then the areas which I feel I'm weak on. So do you think I should spend time
Yeah,
on
if you
Union
have
Find,
2
or do
months,
you think I
right, you
can
should
just
do
go
it.
ahead? Okay.
See, because when you're
Okay.
doing union find, they'll also explain to you how do you keep your trees balanced, right?
Okay. Okay.
So when I showed you this, these are 2 trees, right? So path compression is just one of the
Okay.
concepts.
Okay.
Path
Okay.
compression is
Got it.
actually the last resort, but you can also do this by balancing your roots by trees with height balancing. Let's say your interview says, okay, don't use path compression, but can you keep your heights height of the tree small? He's going to ask that definitely. If you go with path compression,
Right.
he's going to ask you because he just wants to see, are you just memorizing the solutions or are you actually understanding the solutions?
Understanding. Yeah.
That is what
Okay.
that is what he wants, right?
So if that's the case, what's a very good source for me to like quickly ramp up on Union Find or do problem, like just to first understand and then
You understood.
to
I
be able to.
already explained union find.
Yeah,
right?
I understood from what you said, but I want to
Go to
like
this.
do some reading.
Go to introduction to algorithms Corman and do the disjoint set.
Okay.
Chapter.
Yeah, I have that PDF. I'll
Yeah,
do
I mean,
that. Okay.
once you have understood this, you'll obviously you go to that book, you'll understand everything. Because when I went, I had no one to explain to me. I had to read it many sources. But now you know what union find is, path compression is. You'll be very quickly able to go to that question and that book and understand. But don't go into analysis of why.
Yeah.
Right, that will be very messy. Like don't try to analyze path compression or come up with they'll actually do an analysis why it becomes constant eventually.
Okay.
That is very messy.
Okay.
Don't even go into
So
it.
one more thing, Ankur, is so in interview camp, I was actually talking to Harsh the other day. So I wanted a lot of like practice in backtracking and DFS, BFS basically. And as I'm doing, I see while it's great, I just feel I need a little more practice before lead code. Like, I mean, I've been doing lead code a lot, but I'm now I realize that I want to like finish IC and then do some problems practice and then
we are doing that. Last week we only did backtracking. Daily we come at 5:30 and we do problems. That is what I, Sue, Vishal, Deven, we all did.
Okay. So another quick question is so with regards to backtracking, so do you guys just take problems from lead code and solve, or
no I select those questions,
okay,
and then I explain how to solve them. Like
okay, you sort of like break it down, break the problem down, visualize, put it down in
exactly.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's exactly what even I'm trying to do at home. So okay,
and it's
great.
better to like yes. So Vishal and Sue, stop coding and let's try to figure out how you're going to do this, solve this question eventually, because this disjoint set was only the 10% of your question or 40%. How are you going to solve this thing? Sue?
Yes, Ankur.
Don't code. Stop coding.
Yeah, I stopped coding. Yeah, like as I said, once we have these sets, right, like given, like we will go through each of the words of the given text, and if we see that if any of the words is have synonyms, so we will do like similar to like finding phone number combinations. Like we will get we'll get the complete strings from the cluster, which will be sorted in lexicographical order. We have to implement that when we form the clusters, and then we will like go about like replacing each word. And
okay, so so Vishal, do you have any idea? I mean, are you also saying the same thing?
Yeah, I'm stuck with DFS and Union Find together, but it doesn't seem to be a right way to go.
Which one? DFS?
Because
the Union Find.
Exactly what Sue is saying, just like the phone number combination, you have a mapping. So although we have a mapping, when we go to the first mapping, we can come up with certain number of strings, but it's a multiplication between the two, right? There are two clusters and the answer is a multiplication between the two.
Mhm.
So there are 3 strings that we can come up with one cluster, and there are 2 strings we can come up with another cluster, and total of 6 strings we can come up with together.
Mhm.
And in my head, it looks like when I'm doing DFS, let's say when I'm, for example, for the first cluster, I have happy, joy, and cheerful. Once I have those, yeah,
Basically, this is what you're saying, right? So you have sad and sorrow here.
exactly. I have to take that and do DFS on the next level.
Yeah, wouldn't it be very huge, time complexity wise?
That is fine. I mean, backtracking is supposed to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's backtracking means you're trying all possible.
Yeah, but
options.
here the
No,
main.
so you,
Yeah.
okay. Go on. Sorry.
No, the main challenge here is how are you going to code this up? That is the main challenge. That is the main challenge, right? That is where Vishal you're struggling, right?
That is where I am.
Yes.
And
So,
I mean, I also struggle the
Ankur,
same place. Yes.
Ankur, just speaking out loud from my mind. So let's say we have this, map of word and synonym mapping, right? Word synonym mapping.
Yes.
Cluster ID synonym, right?
Yes.
So let's say we go through the input string, and obviously it will involve recursion. And base case will be if the word is itself, then let it be. If the word is not itself, then we'll have to check every map, not map, check by key. If the key is the word, then we know that there is a synonym to that, and then we have to generate using recursion. So basically every recursion will be going through values from that particular map.
Okay.
Search by key. So for example, let's say I'm searching by key happy, and the cluster will be joy cheerful, right? For the first line, let's say I know that get of happy is the word. Now I want to replace the word. So now let's say I'm building the string. So let's say result is the string. I start off in the beginning, I start off with nothing because I don't know what the value of the word is. Let's say when I'm going into the building of the new sentence, I'm checking if that word is the key, then I'm going into the list through that. So basically I'm doing the call again. I'm calling the recursive function again. And in the result, I'm just saying result plus the synonym. Let's say I'm starting off the first synonymous word.
Yeah.
Which is
So first thing is
I
never
think,
do.
Ankur, I think I have my answer.
Okay. No. Yeah. Wait 1 second. So Nitya, first second is never do result. What is your result? Is it a string or is it an array?
It's an array.
Okay. Array is fine.
Yeah, it's an array.
Okay. Yeah. Vishal. So wait. Nitya, you just continue. Like, finish your answer.
Yeah. So I just said, is this thought process right? Like I'm just thinking out loud. I haven't even coded it up.
Yeah, that is what. Yeah, that's right. Now, Vishal, now go ahead.
Can I use Scribble?
Yes, it's enabled, right? 1 second.
I drew. Okay, yes, you can see the line that I drew. Okay. I was not able to see on your screen. Okay. So let me just do the mapping. So right now we have happy, joy.
So did you buy a pencil? iPad pencil? How are you writing?
Everything I do is in iPad. All the diagrams that I shared with you.
Okay.
That's why I can't do all these colorful diagrams.
What are you using for Apple Pen? Is it Apple Pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my one cluster, correct?
Like.
Yeah.
Now, for now, let's assume that you have the clusters ready.
There's my another cluster, right? And let me use my, erase this. And now what I was saying was this. Oh, by the way I draw tree is bottom up. Ankur knows that. Rest of the people might have seen my diagram. So I'll start with the cluster 1 and have 3 options there. Happy, joy,
Ankur,
cheerful.
Yeah. Sue?
Can you please scroll down? I'm just looking at the Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
So Vishal, so first thing,
yes.
are you going to create all combinations based on your clusters?
So yeah, I mean, this is what I
But
see is there.
but what if let's say you're given, let's say here, right? Let's say this is like this synonyms is like very huge. Let's say there are
Right.
like 50 list inside the list, and let's say your text is just I am happy.
Right.
It's just I am happy.
I'm happy, right?
Right.
No,
But I mean,
no,
you
no,
still
this
generated
will,
all.
no, so this will, the happy, joy, and cheerful will, okay. So at the top level, when I'm writing the code, right, it will always see if that mapping exists or not, right?
Okay.
So that is given, like that is a coding thing that I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm doing what I'm giving you is a brute force, and the branching and bounding can be done based on the condition that you want to put, right? So let's say if you are doing a mapping of your input string, okay, so you take the input string, you pre-process it and see if any of those words are present or not.
Okay.
So you have a set of words: happy, joy, cheerful, sad, and sorrow. Okay, and then you have a set of words on the other side, right? On the input string, you can figure it out which path you need to make. Let's say, so if you figure it out that this is, you don't even have to go through this, right? Based on the pre-processing, you will not even generate this. Okay.
You're generating the tree.
No, yeah, you'll not even go down that path.
Wait, when you processed your tree, you processed your synonyms, you generated a tree.
No. So let's say your word is I am happy. You said you just have this, right? You just have this, assume. And you have these set of words on your.
Yes. I have happy as is there in my dictionary.
Yeah, you have happy, joy, cheerful, sad, and sorrow, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. So when you go through I am happy, all you see is that you have the set of cluster one, that is one in blue. That is the only thing you have. Once you know that, then in that case, you will not even generate anything for sad and sorrow at the next level. Right? All you will do is like you will have your one answer here, and you will have your another answer here. You'll have another answer here. From here, you will not even go to sad and sorrow.
Yes, that's right. I understood what you're saying. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Right. Here also, you will not go to sad and sorrow.
But let's say there was sad and sorrow. So you added happy. Okay, you had sad and sorrow. Okay, fine. So I'm trying. Okay, fine. Okay, next.
That's it. This is the worst case of backtracking, right?
No, this is what your optimal. I mean, this is not even the worst. Worst. Like this is how you'll code it up, right?
Oh yeah. This is how I'll code it up with bounding factor. That's all coding implementation that one can handle on their own.
Hey, can you just repeat? I think I missed some few seconds because of network, and you guys are done. So I'm sorry. Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
Vishal, so first question for you. So when you're going from happy, right?
Right.
What is your buffer? Where are you generating the string? Like eventually you'll have to add into your result, right?
Yeah, I'll have to store my buffer. So buffer and final result is there. So final result you will have here. Here everything. This is your buffer. This is your buffer. This is your buffer. Okay. Once you reach in the end, this is your final answer.
Okay, so let's say your word is I am happy but sad yesterday. What is your buffer in the last, like happy, joy, and cheerful thing?
So here my one answer will be this will be happy, correct?
Just happy.
No, yeah, this will be just happy. Wait, where did you go?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
No, you're scrolling. That's why.
Yeah. So what is?
So here I now let me write happy as H. Okay. Here I'll have happy sad. Here I'll have happy sorrow. Okay. Here I'll have joy sad. Here I'll have joy sorrow. And here I'll have cheerful sad and cheerful sorrow. So this will become a list of strings.
Okay.
In the sorted order. Sorry to disturb.
Can somebody? I mean, TV is on or what? Okay. So basically, this will be the combination I'll have. So and this is. Wait, where is it? Okay. So this is my answer. which I have to sort it lexicographically. Answer I can put in pre-map or something.
And how are you going to generate this one? I am cheerful today, but was sad yesterday.
Cheerful and sad is here, right?
No. Return me the whole string, right? I am cheerful. Where is I am?
Right. So no, that string goes on the top. That's what I'm saying. So you're getting into the implementation detail, right? What I'm saying is this is how I will code it up.
Oh, okay, fine. So that is now I am going into the implementation now.
Right. So in the implementation construct, the skeleton is this is what I'm going to use. Since I have not implemented it, that challenge I will know now when I start to implement it.
Yes, so that is what I'm trying to. Yeah. So Nitya, you got this?
Yeah, but I don't know how to sort of. I think I understood his part, but I don't know how I'll code it up too.
Okay, coding it up is one thing, right? Let's say you track your positional.
No, yeah, I think I like one thing that he said is when you create a list of lists, like for example, with happy as the key and happy, sad, happy, sorrow, joy, sad, joy, sorrow. So then you have like a sort of like.
Oh, wait. Let me clarify. This is a skeleton. Okay. In the end, I'll have an entire string. So at every level, I have to know at what position is and at what position I'm doing a DFS call for. So let's say in this path, I'm doing happy. I should know.
I understand what you're saying. So
right.
Basically at every word. Okay.
And I mean, I'm going to implement it now since we are just discussing about how to approach this.
Wait. Sue, did you ask me something? Are you trying to?
I'm just want to know.
Okay.
No,
that's question only.
Okay.
If you want, we can go. We can take more. I have a lot of questions which I wanted to take.
Okay.
Wait, but Ankur, is this the approach or what are you thinking now?
That's the approach, but I wanted to go into how will you like you drew only the half tree, right? Where is your I am? I mean, how do you eventually generate the string for I am? That is a real challenge, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
That is what I wanted to actually go to.
Okay.
Just like in finding like letter combinations, Ankur. So our input, like we will have the write this like DFS helper method, right?
No, but you don't have anything for I am, right?
Yeah, that is a string builder we will form. So we will pass the input parameters will be a list of these strings, which we will do split by space. So we will have list of words and then a string builder and then an index and then a result list of string as a result, to which once our index reaches the end of the list, so we can add to the result. But like this,
okay,
so you can.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, go on.
So for every word, I mean at the index that you read, if it has this if it belongs to a cluster, you will write a for loop. Otherwise, you
okay. So this is nothing but a backtracking question, right?
Yeah.
So can you draw the tree for me? I want you to draw the tree and then convert it into a code. That's all. That is what the real challenge. That is what I wanted to see from you, Sue.
Okay.
Draw this tree.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean VT, he just drew this tree, right? He didn't even do the implementation.
Right.
Now what he'll do is he'll go and try to implement. He'll try to implement and then see if it is working or not. Right? I want to do the reverse thing. He drew this tree. Now the real challenge is draw me the tree. This is nothing but a backtracking question, right? Where you say it's a letter combination, thing. So draw me the tree. I mean, draw the tree for me and give me the answer. Like convert into the code.
I don't have this.
Okay, you cannot draw.
But I can explain.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, then explain. I'll draw it for you. I mean,
Okay.
if your answer makes sense.
Do you want me to just drawing the tree, right?
Draw the tree or what you have in your mind. Like you told me
Okay.
letter combination thing.
Yeah. So
now
I'll take the same example. Initially, only I will be appended. I will be, where are you drawing, Ankur?
Let's say I'm at the root.
Yeah, root. Yeah, to the root, initially it will be just empty, to which I'll append I. Okay, and because there are no synonyms, it will just go to the next index, then am will be appended. Yeah. And then there is this word with happy, which has synonyms. So I will append like cheerful, happy.
Actually, Ankur, after am does not have a synonym. After am,
I'm not doing that. No. This doesn't have. So I didn't do anything. So I mean, if am had a synonym, this would become like this. Like this would become am. This would become and. This would become a. If there are synonyms.
Right. Yeah.
These are not there.
Yes. Okay, got it. Okay.
Then to all these three, today will be appended.
Yes. So Nitya, these are your candidates. So this is your root.
Yeah.
These are your candidates. So if you see for candidates, in candidates, these are your candidates. Yeah. Now go ahead. So.
Yeah. To all these three, today will be appended. And to all these today, after today, it will be but, and then we'll just write but was, like but, and then was.
Okay, and then you'll have.
And then I will have sad and sorrow. Yeah, for each of. And then to all of them, yesterday.
And then here you'll have yesterday, here yesterday, here yesterday, here yesterday, here yesterday, here yesterday, right? So this is your whole backtracking, right? That's all.
Yeah.
So Nitya, did you understand this tree?
Yes, I understood.
So now
that's actually that's what I also was telling when I was explaining this is the part that I had in my head also. Yeah.
But you said am doesn't have. Okay, fine. I
mean, no. So in my head, the way I was mapping is basically after I gets appended am, because these words don't have synonyms. After am comes happy. Now happy has, so I'm appending happy to am, and then from happy I'm branching out. So it's like
yes. Now the idea is yes, exactly. This is what. So now before you, so I'm trying to explain here is, or what I'm trying to teach here is, before you even try to code this up, we know that this is going to be a backtracking question, right?
Correct. Yes.
We know it's going to be a backtracking, and before you code the actual solution, draw this tree in your head.
Yeah.
So when you're actually drawing the tree in your head, you know, I mean, if you don't know backtracking or something, figure out what the tree looks like. But when I did, I actually drew the tree, right? And I figured out that what am I actually doing, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be one tree. This is going to be one DFS call, and this is going to be one DFS call. Like this, I go to am, I go to cheerful, and then day, and this is going to be one call, right? So,
correct.
If you see this, right? So these are all going to be my DFS calls, and at each level, I know what my candidates are.
Right.
If the word is there in my like words of set or dictionary, I know that there are going to be a lot of synonyms for that word.
Yes.
So those are going to be my candidates.
Yes.
And now I'm going to do a DFS call, and there is something I'm going to pass in, right? So I need to pass in. So if I had happy, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm at sorrow, I mean, there's nothing that I'm going to generate from a root, right? I mean, from this node, from parent, I'm not going to actually pass anything to my parent, like to my children, right? So, I mean, the thing is, you have to do a DFS, right? I mean, let's say you have to call recursive.
Yeah.
Like now the question is, what are you going to pass in your DFS call?
Correct.
So what are you going to pass in?
So for every word, we definitely have to pass in the cluster ID for that particular word. So meaning for happy, so let's say after happy.
Yeah. So either you pass in your word, and I mean from the word you find out the cluster ID.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, all you have to do is you pass in the word.
Yeah.
You find the root, and from the root, and then you find out what are the candidates which are there in that cluster.
Yeah.
Right. So you get candidates equal to from that cluster you find out all the candidates. Let's say you get hello or not hello, happy. You get cheerful and what, joy.
Yeah.
And then you iterate through these.
Correct.
And then you.
So that will be the recursion.
Yes, and then you call DFS. So basically your buffer, right?
Yeah. The buffer will. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just showing you the steps to write
Correct,
down the
correct.
code exactly.
Yes.
You append your candidate, right? And here you don't need a scene actually. Like usually we send in scene, right? If we've seen something before, you don't have to pass
No,
anything.
scene is only if it's permuted, like sort of like the arrangement is, so arrangement matters, right? So basically, if we know that between happy and cheerful, there are two different ways a sentence is written, but then they are still synonymous, right? So only in that case do we even mark it as visited, and we don't use that again in that
Yes.
particular call.
Right. So
Yeah.
basically that is what I told you. Now, okay. Now this is the implementation for a word which is there in the set. What if the word is not there?
So if the word is not there, you should return to the parent.
Why
Meaning
do you
not to the
return?
parent.
You have to continue
No. Meaning, no. What I meant is so that should be your
base case.
No, it should not be a base case. One sec. So basically, this is to recurse to find candidates, right? Like recurse to find. So if we don't find a value, like let's
Okay,
say
if let's say if word not
is
in
not in
dictionary, let's say, my question is,
Right.
what are you doing here?
So we basically have to append, if that particular word is not there in the dictionary, then we just have to append the current word to the string, to the result,
Dot
to the
append
buffer,
word.
to the buffer. My bad, sorry, to the buffer.
And you just call DFS of?
You just go to the next word in the dict.
So what are you passing? What?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think so. Basically, if the word is not there,
You're breaking. I cannot. I mean, your internet is very slow. Let me just mute her. I muted her.
Ankur, are you planning to solve any other problem besides this?
So Sue is gone. So no. Basically, do you want?
The buffer that you're building. Okay, I don't know. I think I'm.
So Vishal, did you understand this one?
Yeah, understood. I'm going to implement
now
it
my
next,
question was, what are you passing in your DFS?
You're asking who?
You, Vishal, you.
Oh, I'm going to implement it now.
No, but I know you're implementing, but what are you passing in your DFS? Your DFS helper?
So in my DFS helper, I'm going to pass the entire string and entire buffer. And I'm going to do substring match.
Substring?
So my implementation, what I'm thinking is I'm going to go ahead. So I'm doing a positional thing. So I'm going to replace the entire string with the position where the path that I'm taking into. So let's say my string is I am happy, right? So happy is at third position. So it's let's say I convert that into an array or whatever, right? And I'm doing DFS just to replace the third element of that string array. So
right now, if you are at the word fourth, like after happy, so you basically, that is what you do, right? You pass in your I here.
Right.
Or I plus one actually. Right? So you get the word at let's say your text at I, right?
Right.
If word is in your dictionary, I mean your dictionary set, you do that looping of for candidate and candidates.
Right.
And if the word is not in the dictionary, you just append your buffer and you just call DFS of I plus one. Right?
No. So the way you are doing it, I'm not planning to do it that way. So at every point,
I mean, after you code, just send your implementation. Right.
Right. And most probably I'll get to it like tonight because now I have to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
I was asking you, like, are you trying to solve any other question? Yes.
No.
Okay, great. So I can happily drop off now because now it's my time to take care of the kid.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So I'll ping you.
Yes.
That was a great session, though. This was a good problem, actually.
Thank you.
This is actually a very good problem, and now I can see there are multiple ways to solve this. Like it can be.
Yes, but there are multiple if you know your algorithms very well. But for candidates who are like very new to backtracking, right? I'm just assuming that people are new here, and I wanted to help them draw the tree and then convert that into a code.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you know multiple, then like you can just replace a word instead of generating in your string, something like that. Many things, right?
Yeah. Only thing is the way I'm thinking might not be optimal. Like in my case, what I'm thinking is at every level I know what I need to replace, right? Since I know that path. So since I'm doing.
So I mean, this is what I had written, which actually worked.
Okay.
Right. So I split my text by space. If you want to see, actually, right?
Yeah, okay.
All I'm doing is just passing in the index. That's all.
Makes sense.
Right. And then I get the word at my index. If word is not there in my word, that means I don't have to do anything. I just do buffer append helper idx + 1.
Okay.
But if the word is there, I get the cluster ID. I get all the words in that cluster. Basically, I just use sorted here. Right. And I have to make sure that where is it? Where is scene? Yes, I mean scene here, right?
Right.
Scene.add append word, because they implement it. You'll figure out that there's a case that you have missed, and then I added scene.
Okay.
Okay, so I hate this thing. I mean, it's like there's no one to answer, right? So I missed that case. It's basically I've solved like almost 80% of the test cases passed, but then it broke because there was a case I couldn't handle.
Okay.
Right. Basically, you also have to make sure if you have already added one word, you don't add it again. What was that thing? Why did I use scene? Basically, you understood. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Because I know why you have seen, because I can see a cycle there, right? Happy, joy, and cheerful. They are forming a cycle in itself.
Yeah, I mean, basically not to repeat happy. Basically, I'm done with happy,
joy,
and then sorrow, and then I don't want to repeat it again. So yes, exactly. Yes, I mean, so I do a scene or add append, but why am I passing my scene to my DFS call? No. This is not for happy, joy, and this. So basically, DFS. This is. So see, I'm removing scene, right?
Right.
I'm removing scene. That means this is related to the DFS call. This is not related to on the same level.
Okay.
This is related to the DFS call. So there's a different reason for using scene. When you'll code this up, you'll understand what was it used for.
Right.
But basically, yes. But basically, I mean, this is how I did, and this was actually using the tree only. I didn't know any other implementation, and this was like I got this. The only way I struggled was this one, because first I didn't use union find. Later on, I figured, okay, if I had used union find, it would have been very easy.
Yeah, the more I'm thinking, I think we are not taking advantage of union find. Somehow I feel.
Yeah, I mean, union
do you feel that?
I use union find a lot. I mean, disjoint set, right?
No. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying.
I use it a lot. I mean, I love this one. I mean, it's so easy to implement.
What I'm saying is the entire. Basically, I think if we do union and put everything in one set, that should help us. I'm thinking like we are not doing like happy, joy, and cheerful. Like
they are in the same set. I add
they are in the same set, but we are establishing this parent-child relationship, right? So I'm thinking maybe we can even do away with that. Like we don't need that relationship. All we need to make sure that belongs to the same set. And I can understand like why union find fits nicely here, but I'm trying to think like, do we?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I mean, if I go and give the interview, I don't even want to think all those unique things. Just use this to first actually solve the question. And then maybe after that, after figuring out that, okay, everything worked, then let's see, okay, maybe I don't need this, I don't need that. Right.
And since we are doing union find, if you think about it, right, this is because union find normally we use in graphs and stuff.
No. So if you see one of the, I think.
No. Don't. I don't want to see that. Don't show me anything. Okay. Otherwise, I'll get influenced.
No. I mean, I was showing you only for the union find, not for other things.
Okay.
I mean, right. I mean, this is because this is where I actually struggled I thought
Okay.
I'll be able to. I mean, at first I thought, okay, let's do this union find. I thought, why to code this much? Maybe I can do this in a simpler way. But then it became too hectic. It became a lot of data structures which I had to keep in my mind, manage.
Makes sense.
Then I just removed all that. Union find like very easy, like because I know the code by heart. I know what at each step what it's doing. It's very easy to answer. And all I had to spend was this much. Because this question can be divided into two things, right? Union find and backtracking. If I'm actually solving two big things, it'll become even more harder.
Yeah.
Because I was constantly looking, why is it medium? Why it should be hard?
It is kind of like it is. I mean, on a bell curve, this is closer to hard, I would say.
Yes. So yeah.
Because if you have like 60, 70 lines of code, I mean, it definitely has to be on closer to hard.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, you can code this into lesser lines because I use this. Then I solved it and tried to see what are people doing.
No, you know, right? You know how to code up union find. Imagine a candidate appearing in an interview. Like when I take interview, only people who can write union find is who knows, right? Now, once you try to keep solving this will become a second nature. Maybe initial 40 lines, you will code it up in less than 10 minutes.
Right? Not even 10 minutes. It's like 5 minutes. It's like the speed of your fingers.
No.
I mean, speed of your typing.
You have to do some pretend in interview, right?
I mean, you have to actually speak. You have to show, yes, that I'm thinking on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do. Yeah, it's like, exactly. I'll keep my tree short. I'll do path compression.
Yeah.
Maybe not even say path compression.
Yeah. So I mean, in less than 10 minutes, we'll code this up. But for others who don't know, to write this up will take time. So that's why we both are saying, right? It leans towards hard than medium, because the amount of code that one has to write. And that to successfully compile and execute all the test cases.
Yes, it's that is what. So my idea is to take now, like I have done all the sessions, right? I've done almost all. So my thought now, the thing is, I want to do like something called spaced repetition. Like I want to take up a question which is very hard and then break it up into sessions, break it up into concepts, and then show that, okay, this is the concept that you can use here. This is the concept you can use here, right? That way, I mean, that will make like these sessions even more useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've recorded this. I'll upload the video as well, but I don't know if people will find it useful. But yes, but I'll ask people to solve.
No, I think it's useful. In between, there was a refresher of union find, and the tree that we drew. Okay. Video, while not give, I mean, of course, you are showing the solution. People can copy paste it, but the one who has to build an intuition is when we reached at a part where we were able to come up with a tree. And so one tree was skeletal tree, another tree that Sue and you guys were discussing, that was closer to implementation. And that gets your brain running in multiple directions. Like, okay, is union find, or is there an alternate way I can do it? So that is what is I got from the discussion.
I mean, if you drew that, someone drew the tree and someone doesn't. I mean, someone is just by hearting all the templates. It's like you look at the tree and you can just come up with this one, right? Yes. And I take that approach. I actually think from a point of view of a person who has no idea what backtracking is all about, right? So that is what I think about. That is why I go with draw me the tree. Then it will become very easier to. I mean, today morning you didn't join. I mean, today morning also I took backtracking, and there were people who actually have been coding backtracking for like 3-4 years. I mean, they have been doing sessions daily. They've all sessions, and to them when I showed them, so I did that question permutations too, and the tiles problem. I did that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I showed that question, and when I explained to them the tree, they were like, "Ankur, so good. Your session was so good. It's like we learned so much today." It's like, and I mean, I know that guy. He's like, he has been giving interviews constantly. He takes interviews, and he said, and he was constantly like talking. I'll do this. I'll do that. Okay, now tree is coming. So that is like, they loved it. And after that, like 5-6 people more joined in the team in this. Actually, I'll just stop recording.
Yeah.